Welcome to a new lesson from the Center for Ascension. We finally get to shielding. Followers of these lessons know I am Russ Hatfield, who is mentally joined by my twin soul, Kara, who is behind my shoulder. She is, as you know, a higher dimensional member of Ashtar Command. Now, instead of the usual notes from the Center for Ascension, this next lesson from Omal needs a special introduction. This is Shielding 101 from the Master himself. This was Lesson 1 from our first days of learning from the higher dimensional members of Ashtar Command. The reason was that you can't take the body's energy levels lightly. All the reasons for using shieldings are covered in his excellent dissertation as he lays out all the levels of shielding available. It takes months of daily practice to get shields to become an automatic part of the body's defense system. It's a commitment that pays off in more value than can be counted later down the road. You can follow our online transcript at the link below of our homepage, centerforascension.org. Please subscribe if you want at the end of this video to be alerted to future channeling sessions, editorials from Kara and myself, and lessons from the Center for Ascension. And now, what is mental shielding?
Greetings and felicitations and welcome, Russ. First of all, let us get down to business at hand. How to shield. First of all, shielding. Shielding's primary function is to protect an individual from hostile environments, whether it is a physical shield of glass, brick, mortar, stone, whatever, or a mental shield generated by the mind. Let us look at the latter. Shields generated from the mind. What is the function and purpose of shields generated from the mind? Well, the primary function is to protect oneself from a hostile environment where minds try to overpower yours, to inflict images of harm, mental projections, or coercion. How do you generate a shield? The shield is generated from within to protect the exterior of an individual. Why would one want a shield? Shields are generated to protect the individual so the individual can focus and carry on their assigned path. What environments would be ideal for shields? They vary from situation to situation. You may want to use shields to protect yourself from negative emotions. You may want to use shields to protect yourself from aggressive thoughts. You may want to use shields to protect yourself against actions of others on a mental level. You may want to use shields to protect yourself from individuals projecting thoughts into your mind which are harmful to you or self-serving towards them. Okay, constructions of shields. There are many different types of constructions. Constructions of shields vary from situation to situation, individual to individual. This is because the necessary mental energy that is useful to create these shields is not always constant. Constant energy implies that you are on a constant emotional level. I have yet to meet an airplane or any bipedal carbon-based life form or any other life form lower than the seventh dimension that has no emotions. Emotions serve a purpose in shielding. An aggressive individual would use aggressive shielding. I will get into dealing with shielding and what type of shielding shortly. What is the best way to use shields? Again, that varies from individual to individual, situation to situation. A full body suit of armor projected from the mind to cover the body may work in one situation, but not in another. It may work for one person, but not another. It all depends on the attitude, and environmental factors that are necessary to generate the correct shield. For example, in a situation where somebody is using seductive coercion, an aggressive shield would not work. Where an individual is using aggressive energy, to try to penetrate and control somebody, obviously a seductive shield not work. It would easily be broken. In this situation, shields use force for force, seduction for seduction, hostile or aggressive shields in hostile or aggressive situations. Okay, now let us look at building and designing your own shields. First of all, for the novice, it is best to keep these shields simple and straightforward. For example, shielding an individual against an environment. Obviously, a beginner is not going to be able to stand up to somebody that is a master coercer. So it is best to accept one's fact or fate and not waste energy on these situations. However, by practicing and learning shielding, you can advance quite rapidly to a level where you can protect yourself proficiently. Okay, now let us look a little closer at beginner shields. Beginner shields normally involve a sphere. Simple, straightforward sphere. Almost like a crystal projected from the mind to surround an individual. This is okay. It is a beginning. What you do is visualize your shield. You visualize yourself being surrounded in a spherical object. You do not put any fillings, shaded, or reflective surfaces on at this time. It is the importance of generating the sphere that matters at this point for the beginner. You can practice whenever you wish. You can practice whilst driving your vehicle or walking down one of your areas where you like to congregate. Anytime you can practice your shields. But the beginner must remember to practice as much as possible. The shields that a beginner generates should be simple and basic. Nothing fancy. And it must be practiced and practiced and practiced until it's automatic to create a shield. Now, most individuals have natural shielding. This is basically the aura. It soaks up energy and it soaks up matter. Its purpose is to show what mood you're in and how you are doing, how well you are functioning, what you are thinking. Not necessarily what you are thinking, but more along the lines of what you are thinking about. Certain colors mean you are thinking about certain things, but that is a form of shielding. Very basic, very simple. Everybody uses it. Everybody has it. It's not very tough, but it is a shield. Now, adding the sphere onto this, one has more protection, a little bit better protection, but you do not need to do anything fancy. It is important to visualize the shielding. I will keep on stressing that for the beginner. It is important because it has to become automatic in environments. Okay, let us move up to somebody that has some experience, or let us say the novice. A novice is a level 2. They have the spherical shield down pat. They can produce it whenever they want, whenever they feel like it. It is automatic. Now, the level 2 can start to do some fancy stuff by possibly putting a shiny surface on the outside that reflects energy away, or on the inside to keep energy in. Again, this has to be practiced and practiced often. It has to become automatic. The reason that it becomes automatic is through practice. Why? Because it is necessary. In an environment you do not have time to sit down and think, what sort of shielding should I have? Should it be externally shiny or internally shiny? Okay, a level 3. A level 3 is adept at both level 1 and level 2. Now, you can add another shield within. In between shield 1 and shield 2, you can add in fillings, something spongy or something jelly-like. You can create different thicknesses of shields. You can rotate your shield, the internal one rotating to the left, the external rotating to the right. The purpose of it rotating shields is that energy may penetrate one and be spinning in that direction. And as soon as it hits another shield that is spinning in the opposite direction, the energy is cancelled out and it dissipates. However, somebody that is a strong individual projecting these emotions, thoughts, control commands, whatever, if they are stronger than the level 3, they will penetrate and the shield become useless. However, it will slow down the individual enough for the shielder to escape or reevaluate the situation and receive new information. The jelly, liquid, or spongy substance in the middle. This is optional, but it is useful. It absorbs energy and helps to slow down the penetration. A level 4. A level 4 is a person that has mastered the previous 3 levels. Their commands are automatic on producing their shields. They have shields rotating left and right. They have internal, external, mirroring. Now they can start to use fancy shielding. For example, putting different shaped shields together. Let us say you are using a octagon and a tetragon. These surfaces reflect at different angles, meaning that the energy needed to dissipate has to be stronger to penetrate. Energy that is focused will strike a surface at an oblique angle and bounce off. If the person is stronger than the shielder, again penetration will occur, but it takes more time. If you construct a level 4 shield with a dodecahedron and an octagon with a level 3 shield, spheres inside, that makes it even more difficult. If you have all the shields rotating and spinning, again, it makes it harder. But this has to be practiced and visualized so that it becomes automatic for the situations necessary. You see a threat, your shields go up, you have protection. Okay, a level 5. A level 5 is a person that has mastered the spherical shield, a shield with mirrored surfaces inside or outside, multiple shields with fillings, shields of different shapes and sizes with spherical shields with internal, external polishing with spongy substances. This person can use their shields in different ways. For protection, for enveloping an individual, which is opening the external shield and bringing them in, for protection or to control them in a hostile shield. A hostile shield is where you open up the outer surface of your shield and bring an individual within for either control or protection. You can take their shields and incorporate them into your own shield. I will get into that in a second. By being able to use hostile shielding, it becomes a tool for protection. Its primary function is to do as you command. Now, let us assume you bring an individual within your shields. The individual is in there for protection. You can incorporate their shield by bringing them close to you, asking them to come and stand by you, and shielding them, protecting them, using your shields and their energy to increase the strength of your shields. If they are capable of shielding, you ask them to shield you whilst you shield them, meaning they are the last line of defense. They are the right of the line. There is nothing more. Now, let us assume you bring an individual in for an aggressive shield to control them. You bring them in. You surround them in the external and the second external shield. Now, they're within your shield. Their shield, if you are stronger, will be cancelled out. They have no shield at this point. Now you can project thoughts to calm them down. You can talk to them to calm them down. Okay, finally, level 6. A level 6 shielder is somebody that can use all the shields well. Very well. Weller the better. This individual has the option to use stack shielding, as well as the regular shielding of a level 4, or of a level 5, sorry. You have the ability to create stack shielding and other shielding. Stack shielding is basically a half dome which sits over an individual. They go over the normal shielding that a level 5 would have. But this is not a stack shield. A stack shield is where you have a half dome on top of another half dome on top of another half dome. As many as necessary, with fillings and spikes in different shapes to reflect. Static screen. This is generated from the mind. It is the most effective filler for stack shields. Basically, it's a hiss, a roar, a whine, whatever you wish that is distracting. A screaming sound placed within the filling of the stack shield. Now, an exceptional level 6 will be able to have stack shielding with different static screens as fillers between them. Let us assume that you have 4 stack screens. On the outer one, there is hissing, roaring noise. On the second from outer, you have a whining noise. On the third from outer, you have a high-pitched whistling. On the fourth from outer, you have, let us see, something nice. A howling, whistling, droning noise. And finally, inside the stack shielding, but external to the natural shielding, you have a mixture of noises. This is a experienced expert level 6. The functions of shielding, again, is for protection or to use to be able to manipulate an individual almost in a coercive way for whatever function is desired by the shield. Shielding used in negative purposes have certain functions which tend to bend within. For example, you have a reflective surface on the external. This blocks negative energy from escaping. Do you have questions?
Yes. In part 2 of the reasons to use shield, you mentioned in environments where people are using mental projections against you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that would mean also those people who are using mental probes.
Yes.
Okay. I want to get that on the webpage.
Okay.
All right. Also, is fear useful for a stronger shield or maintaining a calm state of mind?
It is better to maintain a calm state of mind.
Okay.
If you have fear, the chances that you may panic are there, and if you panic and your shields go down, you are helpless.
Okay. How can you maintain a monitoring system on how your shields are holding up, or if you are subjected to an attack?
It is normally a gut feeling, a feeling that you are not doing that well, that the strength of your shields are weakening. Normally, if the person is persistent and continues and they are as strong as you or stronger, they will break your shield eventually.
For example, the test you just gave.
Correct.
Okay. And also, you didn't mention anything about armor.
I did briefly. I mentioned whether it is a suit of armor or other form of shield.
I think it's part of you nailed.
Correct. Let us look at armor. Armor can either be shiny externally or internally. It is the final, last-ditch protection. It is up to the individual if they wish to visualize themselves in a suit of armor. This is basically a toughened aura. It is a strong shield. However, it does have weaknesses due to the fact that if you have armor, there are normally weak points of the joints where tissue moves, such as at the eyes and the mouth.
Okay. Also, you didn't mention anything about, I don't think you did anyway, your protective beast, creature, animal, whatever you might call it, to watch out for you, such as Mark's dragon, mine.
That's something that I deliberately did not mention. The reason is that most people, even though they can project and create such a animal as a panther or a dragon, find it a drain.
But now, what if that is a more stronger shield for them than a regular shield might be?
That becomes aggressive shielding.
Okay.
That is an offensive posture to assume.
So by the time they get up to like a level 4 or so, they should already have that naturally anyway. So there's no need to mention that.
Right.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured on that one. All right, that's all the questions I have on shield.
Okay.
Oh, one more. You went through pretty much all of them pretty extensively here, but would it be helpful to put the archive tape on shielding that you did, the very first part, in at some point?
No.
Okay. All right. In that case, this will be an excellent tape. I'll edit it as see that we can use.
Thank you. Any more questions?
No more questions, but I had one more thing I wanted to mention. Greetings, Omal.
Greetings, Russ. Thank you. Live long, prosper, and I will be back.